We are live. Welcome, everyone, to Freedom Friday, that is hosted by the Awaken the Possibilities Business Hangout and Podcast. I'm your host, Terry Wildemann, and it's a joy to have these events on Fridays, Freedom Friday, to assist
Mhm.
you in gaining more freedom in how you think, feel, and act in your business and your life. I have a wonderful guest with me today, Deborah Miller. Dr. Deborah Miller. She is a PhD, and we have been friends for a really long
A
time.
long time,
I
yeah.
think we figured out it was about 12 or 13 years.
At
years
least that, yeah.
and both of us are EFT practitioners, except Deborah does some special stuff with her
Yeah,
EFT. And
I
Deb,
do a
I'm
little
going
bit
to just
different,
say,
yeah.
tell us what you do with your tapping, please.
I do a lot of things with my tapping, and I love doing a lot of inner child work. That's one of the things that I love doing with tapping is we can bring those inner parts of us that are still remembering something traumatic or stressful or fearful and dialogue with them as like third party with us
Mhm.
and allow them to release their issues. And it's really fun because sometimes like, oh, what's your little one doing? Oh, sitting on the desk, rocking her feet back and forth, and then we clear something like what's she doing now? Oh, she left, she's all done, she's fine. So it's really having this truly in-depth conversation with our little one, and it's beautiful. So that's one thing I do. And that also led in many ways to working with children with cancer in a hospital setting. So I've done a lot of EFT and other techniques with children who are dealing with really physical issues that bring stress on for them, for their parents, for all their caretakers, and then helping all of them look at what the stresses are and using symbols and colors and other simple ways for them to recognize what the issue is and let it go. And so then we can use it very symbolically as well. We don't have to go into all the details of the trauma because many times that's why we don't want to scratch that wound because we don't want to go back and think about that person or that
Right.
event. So we'd rather just avoid it, eat something, play,
Mhm.
work, whatever it is. And so you can very gently with tapping and other energy psychology techniques really gently remove them and that is one of my main goals, so that we can really start visioning and creating what we want instead of
Mhm.
what appears automatic, right?
And today we are going through a very challenging time.
Yes, we are.
Everybody's going through something different. Some of us are going through it more so than others.
Yes.
My husband and I were talking last night about the different levels of stress that different people have in our world. And there are, because there are some folks who have absolutely no income coming in. They've
Right.
lost, the my daughter did tell me today she got her stimulus check, but because of her making so much before, it got cut back, and all these things. And I said,
Right.
you hear these stories of this mom who's a bus driver who lost everything, and she's got 5 mouths to feed.
Right.
And how long were people sitting in lines waiting for food for their family?
Right.
So the stress levels right now are enormous. And you and I are very lucky that we have skill sets that we can help folks to feel better and feel better quickly. So, of
Yes.
all of the stressors that are coming up for you recently, what are the ones that your clients are zeroing in on the most, Deborah?
uh there's two: the health, either for themselves or a loved one who's either elderly or
Mhm.
somewhere that they can't be with them, right? So they've got a loved one and they're far away and they can't go there, or they
Got
can't
it.
even go across town to be with them, things
Right.
like that. So that's one. And then the other one that I'm finding a lot is the economic. People are really worried about what's going to happen. Everybody, sometimes my friend calls it mall vision for like all the bad things are on television. And so the more you get bombarded with that information about recession and and the COVID virus and all that kind of things. It just really sucks you into that instead of helping you keep that peace and calm, because our body is made to, and it is taking care of bacteria and virus and fungus all the time. That's what it does. This is a new one, so it's going to find a new way to recognize it and deal with it, right? But we forget that because the hype is so everywhere. It's hard to escape it, and because it's worldwide, it's not just in one particular area. So it's created a panic around the world. But we can work with that. Even with that, we can work with that. So as we get centered and calm, and the thing is, like, you do tapping, and it actually it lowers your stress hormones, and it raises your IgA, and your IgA is an immunoglobulin, which is your first defense, right? So these are natural techniques. They're not hard to do. If I've got kids with cancer that are 2 or 3 and they can do this on their own, I truly believe any adult can do this. They just have to remember to do it. And so there's things like that can help us create this inner calm, inner peace, and then help our body do what it normally does, which is take care of anything that comes into our system that is foreign and that should not be there. Right.
Right. So I know one of the things we talked about is actually doing a session today. And for anybody who is really stressed, who would like us to work on something specific, please put your comments in the comment section, and we will make sure to get to it today, regardless of how long this takes. Whether it's a short amount of time, because some of our Freedom Fridays have been only 15-20 minutes, others have been 45. So it really depends on you guys. What is it that you want to release, and we will help you with that. And what's wonderful is, especially if we do something generic like fear, you can use this technique for anything, absolutely anything, to help you feel better very, very quickly.
Yes. Yeah, because it can be fear about health issues. It can be fear about economic issues, planetary issues, because it's got a world effect. But I also see all these benefits of reconnecting and taking a pause and reflecting and looking at the opportunities as well. So there's the flip side of this issue that's going on right now, right?
Absolutely.
Yes.
And one of the things that you used the word hype. Some people don't look at it as hype. Some people look at it very, very, very seriously, to a point where it's compromising their health.
Yes. Well, I look at it as a scientist. I look at it from the scientific perspective. So I know that as I'm working with my body and creating inner health, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, physically, then my body has a greater capacity to take care of this. It does not mean that I'm running around doing crazy things either. I'm making wise decisions, but not based on kind of panic and things like that. So I don't take it lightly, but I'm not going to panic and fear either, because I know that isn't beneficial to me nor anyone else. Because usually when I'm panicked, I don't make wise decisions, right? So in the calmness, then I make decisions. Do I go to the grocery store? Do I not go to the grocery store? Do I make an order, not make an order? Do I do things online instead of something in person? But then I do it calmly, and then my physical system can stay in a healthier state of being, right?
And it really is mindset and perception, isn't it?
It is. And then what do I want to create, even though I could go to panic, because the clientele that I usually have come to my office obviously are not coming to my office right now. So I could go in that negative spin as everyone else, and I've had to just kind of go, stop, wait a second. There's interesting things coming out of this. What do I want to open up to? What possibilities do I want to open up to? And what would I like to create? So then going into the quantum field and the quantum physics, like, what do I want to create out of this chaos that's going on, right? I can go in the negative spiral and spin down, or I can stay calm in the center and open up to all these incredible opportunities that we also have at the same time. Connecting online, sharing techniques with people, allowing people to learn new techniques that help them manage their life when we go back to, we'll never really go back, but as we go back towards going out and socializing and going to work in offices and things like that again. But then we can create it from a more balanced perspective, from different insights that are wise and connective versus conflictive. Because I think a lot of us were so in stress that everything just created conflict. And so now we can go, hey, that person that I didn't used to like to see, it's kind of nice to actually see that person now because, I get to be in their presence where I couldn't do that before, right?
Well, what I find fascinating is that a lot of folks say, well, this is the new normal. This is the new normal. And I question, is it really the new normal? Or is it all meant to, will it is going to be different. It has to be different.
It's going to be different. Yeah. I don't think we're at a new normal yet. I think we are in transition and transformation.
Yes.
And we have lots of opportunities and options as long as we can really focus in on this inner peace, right? And this inner calm and opening up our heart and being very loving, because that heart creates an electromagnetic field that is a magnet. It's an antenna and receiver. And so you don't want to shut that off with the fear. You want to open it up. You want to open up your channel. You want to open up to the possibilities so you can receive divine messages, so you can connect with people and understand from a different level, right?
And that really is huge, because I think when we get, not think, I know because I teach this stuff, but when we get highly stressed, our mind closes off, our heart closes off, our coherence is completely off the deep end.
Exactly.
And so what ends up happening is that we aren't listening to the intuitive messages that come to us in different ways.
Yeah, and then we are totally in habit. We are totally in automatic responses and habits that get formed over time, right? The conscious mind is 5% and 95% is the subconscious mind, which are automatic programs and patterns. And so if you're stressed, you're not in your heart, you're not listening, you're in automatic. And so then you're just going to repeat old patterns instead of being open to new opportunities and new options. Yeah.
And an image that I use to help people understand the concept that you just spoke about is the image of the iceberg.
Yes.
The Titanic was not sunk by what it saw. The Titanic
was sunk was underneath
by what it did not see, which is 2/3 below the water. Or as my cousin, the mathematician, said to me, it's you're talking 7/7, and you're talking, I forget what mathematical thing he says, but it's only 1/7 above and 6/7 below. I went, okay. So that those emotions can really control us in a very deep way. So Deborah, why don't we do some tapping?
Sure.
And let's focus on the most important thing that people are talking to you about right now.
Their fears.
Fears. That's right.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
So when it comes to fears, is it fear of the unknown? That's what I just got. Fear of the unknown.
Fear of dying or losing someone.
Losing someone. And so many of my colleagues have lost people and they can't get to them. They're elders, they're in the senior centers, and they've had to say goodbye at a distance. That is really, really hard.
Yes.
So
absolutely.
So how about we do some tapping around just fears in general?
Fears. Sure. We'll just start with fears in general. And I'd like everybody who's listening to just tune in, right? And kind of just kind of go inside a little bit and localize where you're finding your fear. Is yours in your head? Is your mind just spinning, or do you feel it in your throat or your heart, your chest, your belly? You know, maybe that your shoulders are up over the top of your head. I mean, you know, everybody holds it in a particular place, or it can be full body.
Mhm.
And I'll just use Terry as my example. So where do you tend to hold your fear? And then we'll use the words for Terry's place, but you can just insert where it is in your body.
Okay. Where do I hold my fears? The first word that came up was my throat.
Yeah. Interesting. It came up for me as well. Throat. So where are we speaking the truth or not speaking the truth, right? Because we're telling these things about fear.
Fear of speaking fear of being visible and speaking the truth.
Yeah. Yeah. Or speaking the truth and not being heard. We can look at all the different variations of that.
All different ways of looking at it. Yes.
Yeah. But it's still all fear. Fear is a disconnect. It's a disconnect from the truth of who we are, which is truly loving, connected spiritual beings, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. And so the fear is a disconnect. You know, so I like to also use the radio dial. So dial in, and we're in the fear. We're over in the static somewhere, and that's not where we want to be. Okay.
Right.
All right. So I don't know if people know the technique or not, but I will just show the points as we tap, and we'll just go through it. And that's how practical it can be, right? Yeah. Okay. So we're going to tap on the side of the hand, right? So you can use either hand, whichever is more comfortable for you. And I'll just start out with some phrases, and Terry will be my echo for me.
I will be.
So even though I fear all this, even though I have all this fear,
even though I have all this fear,
and it's in my throat,
and it's in my throat,
I choose to accept myself.
I choose to accept myself. And by the way, the audience, put whatever you're feeling.
That's right. So if it's not throat, then
your knee, your ankle, wherever it is, just put it, whatever it is for you.
And even if you use throat, it's okay because your system knows where you're holding it.
Exactly.
Okay. Yep. That's what we call borrowing benefits. So even though I have this fear in my throat,
even though I have this fear in my throat,
in my body,
in my body,
in my mind,
I'm
still a good girl. Those are for those of us who are women.
A good girl.
That came up a lot with working with the children, but most of us adults have never really heard that enough. So it resonates with us. So even though I have all this fear,
even though I have all this fear
in my throat or in my body, I'm still a wonderful girl.
I'm still a wonderful girl.
A wonderful woman.
A wonderful woman.
Okay. We're going to tap on the top of the head. All of this fear in my body.
All of this fear in my body.
Eyebrow right in the beginning. All of this fear in my mind.
All of this fear in my mind.
Side of the eye. All of this fear in my throat.
All this fear in my throat.
Under the eye. All of this fear in my throat.
All this fear in my throat.
Underneath the nose. All of this fear around me.
All this fear around me.
Underneath the lips. All this fear that's mine.
All this fear that's mine.
And then here at the collarbone. All the fear that isn't mine.
All the fear that isn't mine.
Okay, we're going to tap underneath the armpits, right?
Yep.
All this fear in my body.
All this fear in my body.
Okay, and then we'll just do one more, the wrist point. So I just do both wrists together, right? So,
right.
Okay, all of this fear in my body.
All this fear in my body.
That I think is mine.
That I think is mine.
That may not even be mine.
That may not even be mine.
All this fear that's all around me.
All this fear that's all around me.
It feels contagious.
It feels contagious.
Maybe it is contagious, right? I feel it.
I feel it.
Yeah. And sometimes I don't know if it's mine or not mine.
And sometimes I don't know if it's mine or not mine.
Under the nose. But I choose to do some tapping anyway.
I choose to do some tapping anyway.
To just relax.
To just relax.
To calm myself.
To calm myself.
To lower my stress hormones.
Lower my stress hormones.
It's a gift to me and my body.
It's a gift to me and my body.
Okay, and the wrist point. My body knows how to relax.
My body knows how to relax.
And my body knows how to care for itself.
And my body knows how to care for itself.
So reducing my stress and my fear.
And my fear.
helps my body do its job.
Helps my body do its job.
So I do this to help my body do its job.
I do this to help my body do its job.
To stay healthy.
To stay healthy.
To get rid of foreign substances.
To get rid of foreign substances.
Like bacteria and viruses.
Like bacteria and viruses.
Yeah. My body actually knows how to do it.
My body actually knows how to do it.
I want to trust my body.
I want to trust my body.
Yeah. So I allow myself to let go of this fear.
I allow myself to let go of this fear.
And feel a little bit more peaceful.
And feel a little bit more peaceful.
Or a lot more peaceful.
A lot more peaceful.
Because it's good for me.
Because it's good for me.
And it's good for everyone I love around me.
And it's good for everyone I love around me.
Because when I'm calm.
Because when I'm calm.
They feel calmer.
They feel calmer.
It's a gift to me.
It's a gift to me.
And to the ones I love.
And to the ones I love.
Okay, let's just kind of check in. Let's see what's been going on.
Oh, well, I had to laugh because, you know, when as a healer, one of the things that happens is when the person I'm working with, when they heal, I yawn. And in the middle of all this, I'm yawning, going, oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, it's so funny.
It is funny, but we are truly connected. And this is the other benefit of what we're learning in this time, right? Is that we're truly connected, and we feel and perceive what's going on around us. But as we get more, as we become more aware of it, then when I recognize fears come up, I stop and go, wait, am I feeling fearful? Am I truly feeling fearful? Or is it just the fear I'm feeling around me? And then that's my first distinction. No, I'm actually calm. Okay, that's not mine. So let me feel even calmer so that my field of calm energy actually ripples out. Okay?
Yeah. Yes.
Right?
And that calm energy affects everybody around you.
It does. It does. It does. Yeah.
It really, really does.
Yeah.
So, well, my throat feels better.
Well, I hope other people are feeling better as well. That's just a simple, short little tapping round. And this is the benefit of these techniques, is that many of them, it's like, what did we do? 2-3 minutes? In 2-3 minutes, the stress hormones in your body are dropping off. Your body's starting to physically relax. Many times we yawn or we feel tired, but it's usually kind of the alleviation of tiredness. It's that kind of, right? Not like exhausted. And so these are benefits. These things help our body go into repair. And this is what we want, regeneration and repair. Right? So when we knock off these stress hormones, then our body can build the repairing hormones for us. Right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I'm looking for comments. I don't see any comments or requests coming in at all.
Okay.
So unless there are any other questions, I'm going to keep looking here.
Okay.
I'm looking on 3 different machines.
I figured, I could tell you're kind of looking around.
I'm looking around here, going to 3 different machines because one was not coming up. The other one is coming up. It's just the way it goes with these things.
Exactly.
I want to make sure that the sound is off, but no, I don't see any questions. So,
okay.
Since we have no questions, I'm going to wrap it up for Freedom Friday. And thank you so much, Deborah, for being here.
You're welcome.
Sharing that little 3-minute relaxation. I know I love tapping. I love EFT, and I know it works. It just did an amazing job for me. And how can people reach you?
They can reach me at deborahmiller.org, and it's DeborahMiller.org.
Thank you. And thank you to Freedom Friday viewers.
Yes.
I have a blast bringing different Heal Network folks to you to help you step into freedom, awaken the possibilities, and to grow and expand in mind, body, and spirit. So we will see you next Friday. Take care. See you later.
Bye.